one of the beautiful reasons why Juan is actually here is because of his background. Now, Uruguay have been historically the most dominant fucking club in World Cup history. Obviously, past, our lifetimes hasn't been the greatest, but we have a friendly coming up with them on the 27th. Uruguay traditionally are, just like I said, go look at World Cup winners. It's like Uruguay.
First ever.
It just, you see it there so much. I'm kind of really excited. So one of the things we're going to be doing during the World Cup season is previewing different countries from the eyes of people who it's their heritage. They're from there. Someone where we don't have, three white guys kind of talking about a country where we have no reason to be doing so.
Unless it's England.
Well, I guess it's England and unfortunately Scotland. But I mean, you know what? Three different mix talking about a country that clearly shouldn't be doesn't make much sense. So, what is one of the things that you're probably the most excited for really coming up to this World Cup?
Right now, it's honestly the youth. Right now we're starting to get away from the players that won us a lot of those trophies from the 2010s to 2011, from the Copa America to the fourth place spot in World Cup. For me, I consider a trophy because honestly, that was such a beautiful moment in my life to see us go that far. And honestly, right now we're in a very difficult group. I consider it the group of death. I would love to see what our coach does, Diego Alonso, because our coach before, Oscar Tabares, he was a great coach, but I compared him to Arsene Wenger, where he had such a huge impact to the group he had, but when it was time to leave, he still wanted to have a say in the group. And the guy could barely walk. He had canes. I don't know how he was able to instruct the players in practice sessions. You could sort of see. I don't think the players lost faith in them, but it seemed like they needed a new inspiration, new direction for the squad. And right now, a lot of our players internationally are doing fantastic in the leagues they're doing right now. Valverde is doing excellent. I wanted to say Nunes, but he's having a stinker at Liverpool right now. Vecino, even right now, Facundo Torres, he's having a great season at Orlando. So honestly, it's refreshing to see these guys develop. And Uruguay is a very small country. We currently have 3 million people there, and we somehow produce talent for this beautiful sport we watch. And honestly, I really hope we make it through the group. I'm hoping, honestly, first or second, and we'll go from there because we are definitely a tournament team. We play counterattack. I can't talk right now. We play.
Welcome to my life.
I know. We play a lot of counterattacking, and those kind of teams benefit in tournament styles where they play patient and they wait for those individual errors. So I'm really looking forward to it. And vamos a la Celeste.
Do you think someone like Suarez gets the call?
What is interesting about Suarez is that he is playing for Nacional, which is
that's kind of think of that. Going back home to play, does that discredit, or because of his name, does he just get the call on his name alone?
I would say no, because there's several reasons. One, we have several players playing for the same league in that squad, and they're younger. So it seems like it is a reputable league for the coach, for himself. And B, Suarez did decrease in terms of pace and in terms of what he does contributing to the team, but he still has that technique. He may be a great impact sub for the squad. So he sort of has that legendary status with us, where as soon as he gets on the pitch, something special will happen. So honestly, I wouldn't start him. I would put Nunes up top, but I would bring him to the World Cup 100%. Him and Cavani.
I was just about to say, it seems almost unreasonable for us to be bringing on Hutchinson at his age, and Cavani and Suarez are not there, being both 35. They bring so much World Cup experience, relevant World Cup experience.
But I mean, there is a difference though. It's depth level, right, between Canada and Uruguay. Like Uruguay has like probably 55 players that would be there before Canada's, where Hutchinson's literally are maybe one or two guys could get there before him.
But it's also a scenario where they both have so much consistent World Cup experience, right?
Oh no, for sure.
You have two players where, as one said, I don't see them starting. But if you don't have them in there, these younger players who maybe have never been to World Cup, don't know, don't experience it, you could really be shooting yourself in the foot. Because Uruguay, when was the last time they never made it to the round of 16? Because they're almost constantly semis, round of 16s, quarters. Like I can't even think of the last time.
I think it was 2006, and then we had a stinker there, and then 2010. That was our golden era. Like I can vividly remember Diego Forlan just scoring those goals. Like it seemed like he was born with the Jumbolani ball. Yeah, like honestly, like we have a lot of aging players, which was my primary concern. But after Oscar Tavares stepped down and the new coach came in, he was not afraid to make those changes.
Yeah, that's brilliant. I mean, one of the things I am personally super excited for is seeing what they bring to the table on the 27th when Canada has a friendly against them, because both teams are going to be looking straight at World Cup and just going forwards. And then you're going to have that masterclass of just experience getting further with Uruguay and the absolute newcomers. So I'm like, out of all of the games, I think that is, I mean, obviously Toronto's fucking shit the bed. So like, we're like that dream's gone right now. So I just kind of shifted the dream a little bit to something a bit more reasonable. I really want to see how they do. And I really want to see if Uruguay takes it like two things. I want to see how Canada does, but I want to see if Uruguay looks at it as a serious threat or take it seriously.
I think we should, because honestly, looking at the game, I think Canada should look at it as they should be preparing how they face against Croatia, because there is a mix of talented players that are becoming older, and there's becoming a lot of youth players that are showing their worth. And I think currently right now, Canada might have a little bit of difficulty with the spine of their team, because there's Canada's center backs, they're aging, right? They're not the youngest players, but you take a look at Steven Victoria, Kamal Miller, Daniel Henry. Other than Kamal Miller, those guys are a little bit of struggling, and I think they'll have a little bit of difficulty facing a quick line that Uruguay will put out. And I think Canada might struggle with the midfield as well, because right now you take a look at Kay. He is not having the greatest time after his injury at Toronto FC. You look at Osario. He had a great start to the season, but now he's slowing down a bit. You're looking at Tiba now that's being frozen out. And I think that for Canada to win, I think they need to expose the wings, because Uruguay plays a 4-4-2 when they're playing defensive. I think Canada's wings could expose that 4-4-2 if they're going on a counterattack or a transition period. Because if you let Uruguay go on that 4-4-2 block, then it'll be very difficult for them to break that down. So I'm hoping that Davies plays a huge part, or Buchanan rips it down the wing.
For sure.
And I think if Uruguay has to look into that and take Canada as serious, because like I said, a lot of youth players, a lot of guys that are getting their first internationals, they have to take Canada serious.
Mm-hmm. It's no secret that's Canada's goal, right? It's going into the World Cup. I think we're a counter team. I think our whole structure is going to rely on beating you guys on the wings, no matter who we play, to be the faster, younger team and work the wings and get the ball into the box from the outside. That is going to be our goal. And Uruguay, I think, is the best team for us to see what Canada really is going into the World Cup. You guys are going to have possession. You guys are going to have the chances. And we're going to see, can Buchanan, can Larea, can Davies work the wing like you just said we have to if we want success. Thank you so much for watching us on the FC13 Podcast channel. Make sure to follow us on Spotify or where other service can give you your podcast needs. Make sure to watch our last video and subscribe so you can follow us while we bring you more Canadian soccer content.